What is up, everybody? It's your boy CrazeBase98, aka Nicholas Morales, founder of the EHG community, and I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the EHG podcast. Sorry about that; just been doing this manually, and today our episode is going to be based off of a major thing that is a big deal to me, especially in gaming, and especially a game that I do love, and it's called Overwatch. And we're going to be talking about the community in Overwatch. Now, before I end up doing things like ripping this community a brand new one, I would like to state that, first of all, I love Overwatch. I love the concept of Overwatch. I like the character designs of Overwatch. I think every character is unique in their own area. I think a lot of the characters set here are absolutely fun to play. I think they're amazing to play. I think that, that even things like the Overwatch League are pretty cool. But there are major things that have destroyed this game. Especially not just by the nerfing and buffing, because the nerfing and buffing is absolutely terrible. Like it's not like Blizzard knows how to do that correctly. But the main thing that literally destroyed this game was the community, and there are many instances where the community has done nothing but literally get to a point where they're destroying everything in the process. So if you guys don't know, but this is just opinion, but I really hope that possibly that I really hope that it goes to a point where people understand where I'm coming from. And it's a major thing that's a big thing to me. Now, I played things like League of Legends, Counter-Strike. I played things such as Smite. I played things such as Team Fortress. I played all those games where they could be major toxic areas, especially Call of Duty 2. And I have to say that Overwatch takes the cake on literally toxicity. It literally takes the biggest piece of cake when it comes to toxicity compared to the other ones. I know there's toxicity in every community, but this one goes majorly far to a certain extent. I think it goes with the fact of you would do things like, there is I would say things just in regards to trying to pick a certain character, you'll get shitted on. Like playing a certain way, you'll get shitted on. Certain decisions that Blizzard has to make against the community, they get shitted on, or they get the major backlash, or people will stop playing the game because of it. Now, this will lead to straight from the beginning, when people were complaining about certain things, like certain skins, like certain designs, or what certain things need to be nerfed and buffed. It's absolutely horrendous. It's ridiculous. It also led to people complaining that there's not even a team deathmatch in the games. There shouldn't be a team deathmatch. This is a team oriented game. Like for instance, I would have major issues with things having to deal with people that wouldn't even try to switch into things that we need, that won't really go ahead and learn anything of their of things like their counters. There are major counters to each other. There's Winston that counters Genji. There's things like Zarya that counters Diva, and so on and so forth. But even gets to a point where it's absolutely horrendous that I also have to do videos like my Overwatch toxic videos, because people tend to be majorly toxic. Now, do I get a little bit upset over the game? I do get a little bit upset. I do wonder why people are not playing properly, but it gets to a major point where someone gets a little bit too far, so I end up doing things in return for it. There's also things voice actors, people who worked in the game, who voiced the characters. getting harassed by the community because of a certain buff or a certain nerf. Like for instance, the voice actor of Brigitte got a message to like, oh, Brigitte destroyed Overwatch and destroyed the meta. I'm like, obviously that's supposed to be a thing. Um, it's ridiculous how people don't understand like the concept of these type of games, especially where nerfing and buffing is a major necessity and destroying a meta is a major necessity to go ahead and make sure the game is still relevant and still able to be played. Now, with nerfing and buffing, I don't think that Blizzard has done that too well. I think Blizzard has been very lacking in intelligence when it comes to the nerfing and buffing of this game. I think when it comes to stuff like that, they just nerf whatever they just feel like needs to be nerfed. Not actually do it based off the actual gameplay or the outputs of the characters or any type of simplistic math that's supposed to be going with it. It's very simple to do so. The only issue is how many things you have to do it with, how many characters, how many aspects that you have to nerf and buff. It's very weird for me. It's very awkward for me, and it's very like understanding of where Blizzard is going with their heads. Like for instance, they majorly nerfed D.Va to a point where she is not that viable anymore. They majorly they nerfed certain areas that don't need to be nerfed. I would like if I was there, I would be nerfing Genji right on the spot, who has the most overpowered ability in the game, which is his deflect, that could deflect ultimates and use them against other people. You can't do that with certain characters. But as I said, when it comes to stuff like that, I don't think Blizzard has been paying attention. I think it's lacking. Another toxic thing and another reason why this community sucks majorly is also the Overwatch Pro League. I really do like enjoying, a team playing the game. It's just as that some of the people that played on the team are absolutely asshats. Like they're absolute asshats to what they have to do to following the rules. Like for example, XQC, who is absolute waste of time. I believe where that guy literally, who is an amazing player, tends to go off the freaking dome with like his attitude, and he ended up getting banned and he ended up getting sat out for the league twice, and that's a major thing that needs to be changed. There are also 2 players in Shanghai Dragons that were sharing the accounts where they are not legally allowed to share the accounts. They're not allowed to do that. They're not allowed to go ahead and make any of those type of abilities to share their accounts, is because also the fact that one of them was of lower rank than the other. So it kind of shows that a lot of people probably who are in the pro league are not even top 500 or even grandmaster. It's just based on like how much money you put in to make a team and who's willing to sponsor you. So that's another issue. And I believe there was one player in Fusion who decided to get paid by people to boost their accounts, which is another thing that's completely illegal, and I believe he's still able to play, or if not, he was majorly fined for it. And stuff like that it kind of makes me angry and kind of makes me upset, because people have this luxury to win money at a tournament to play a damn game, and some people can't even make that money nowadays, even when you're streaming or when you're doing it on YouTube videos, because you need to hit a certain point. You've hit a certain point where you actually just get called sponsored and you make it to a team, and it's absolutely ridiculous, especially like that people get into that area. As I said, with the community is absolutely horrendous with some people who tend to screw up the game because they complain over the littlest things. Like they whine over the littlest things that make no sense. Like there was complaints over Symmetra's skin being not the one with when she has the blue skin. I believe it was where she was like blue skin and then like all this type of religious ornaments on her. And with that, they ended up getting backlash for that because it was religiously inappropriate. There were things like freaking like people complaining about Tracer's butt jiggling or having like a certain butt shape. They were complaining about May's certain shape of her butt or certain shape of her waist. It's like it's absolutely ridiculous of where this Overwatch community goes. And as I said, if you look into my channel, I have a bunch of toxic videos But a lot of people just get upset, a lot of people just get mad, blah blah blah, here and there, and they just complain and they just start picking on people or picking on me, or just start getting upset or try to be as toxic as possible. And now, especially when people complain about things like certain characters that they choose, like especially back then where people chose like 4 DPS and people chose 2 healers and not even a tank. Now people complain about that, especially I was one of those people that complained about it because it was literally stupid people playing that, where each character benefits from like literally the counter. They had to resort to 2-2-2. They had to resort to doing it in quick play, and especially in competitive, which is absolutely ridiculous. You shouldn't have to do it in quick play. But with how people were literally playing the characters and not like applying anything, like especially in the DPS area, which I don't understand why nobody can do DPS, because DPS is probably the easiest role in this game. The only difference is that there are some characters that do take a lot more skill to do so. I think people in this community make everything a lot more worse. I played like League of Legends, especially since Aatrox was a first a new character, especially before his rework, before they decided to fuck up his rework, and I haven't dealt with as much toxicity as I do from Overwatch. It's absolutely horrendous. It's ridiculous. So every time when I play a competitive match, I always record it, and with that, it's ridiculous. I think that this community needs to work on itself. I think because of the 222 and the endorsement levels and what they set up, that's that's like in response to how everything is toxic right now, especially when endorsement levels, people endorse you just to like piss you off, or just like endorse you just for the hell of it. Like if you're being a bad sport, they'll send you a sportsmanship endorsement. Like, why would you do that? That's dumb. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely horrendous and a stupid idea. Also, I felt like the endorsements were like a punishment to have people to start behaving, where people should learn how to behave. Like, who literally gets on a PlayStation or an Xbox or even on a PC and game just to be an asshole? So that's just that's just a major thing. But I want to know what you guys think. I want your guys' opinion on this. I hope you guys can like understand where I'm coming from. The next episode of the podcast will be coming up soon. But as I said, definitely subscribe to the EHG community. Definitely turn on your notifications when we get new streams and new videos out. And definitely join us on Facebook, our Discord channel. And make sure to subscribe to moderators in the description. Make sure to go ahead and follow Randall20XX on his Instagram, on his Twitch, and on his Facebook. If you want to go ahead and have any good work based off of comic books, video games, or etc., then he will go ahead and give you a good price for great commission work. By all means, go ahead and go to teespring.com/CycleWorld and take a look at the great merchandise that CycleWorld Gaming actually sells, which is from t-shirts, sweaters, wall art, and coffee mugs. And make sure to follow CycleWorld Gaming and on his Instagram and on Twitch. Also follow Rose on his YouTube and on his Instagram. Make sure to leave a like on some of his music, especially one of my favorite songs, which is Aura. Make sure to leave a subscribe on his channel and make sure to support him. Also follow Travis Brown on his Instagram and on his Twitter, which have links to his Spotify and SoundCloud. And also make sure to download his song Letting Go on iTunes, which is for a good price of 99 cents. By all means, go ahead and show your support. And lastly, go ahead and follow Captain Kairos at twitch.tv/Captain Cairo, and take a look at neonpublic.net if you want to look at amazing merchandise, from beanies, from wall art, t-shirts, sweaters, sandals, and much more. Alright guys, but thank you for watching the EHG podcast, but this is your boy, CrazyMaze98, aka Nicholas Morales, founder of the EHG community, and stay tuned for another episode, which will be coming out pretty soon.